The company in their August of 2016 proposal offered a 20% ratification bonus. What that meant is that they told us that they were willing to offer AMFA 20% of the 2016 earnings of the group, and that we would then determine how to divvy up that $46 million is what it comes out to be. Our committee is looking for retroactive pay from August of 2012 to current. So I'm going to let Peter explain a little bit more about retro.
Great. So thanks, Earl. On retro, just a couple of things to keep in mind is we call it retro, but what we're looking here is to divide a pool of money amongst the mechanics. So there's different names attached to it, but we'll stick with the retro name for today's discussion. Again, the de facto wage freeze that you have there is on the horizontal line that you see on the screen. And then what's on the dotted line here is if you would have had 3% increases since 2012, which was your amendable date. That's what we're trying to fill in. Now the company has offered, like Earl said, $46 million to try to make you whole enough that you'll vote yes on some deal. That's represented by a brown cloud on the screen. It breaks down to about $20,000 a man to cover 5 years without any pay increase, is what it would break down to approximately. Your negotiating committee has a different approach to this. Your committee wants to fill in the whole triangle. And if you can see on the screen, that whole triangle is represented in blue. And you see on there it's $164 million. That was, we've been doing this roadshow for about a month. I reran the numbers just the other day. That was set up that if we were able to do a deal by the end of October, it would be $164 million. I've rerun them if it's, now if we can do a deal by the end of the calendar year, it'd be about $172 million would fill in the gap for each person. That makes across your work group, that makes about $68,000 a man on average, right? People who have been on property for only a couple of years, it'd be a smaller amount. People who have been topped out for all 5 years over here would be a larger amount, but again, on average, it'd be about $68,000 per man. Now, you might have heard that SWAPA with the pilots, they had a similar arrangement, and it was called retro, but again, it was $425 million that was split across their work group. Just a couple of differences, if you're interested in the detail. There was a 4-year term where they went without increases. Their work group is a little bit larger, and it amounted to about $50,000 a man over there. So just a little bit of the differences. But some of the things that we've picked up from theirs and actually I think reinforced from the SWAPA agreement is that your negotiating committee has always been in the position where deceased mechanics and retired mechanics over the past 5 years would receive the same, their portion of the retro part. So that's also a position that your negotiating committee holds. So I think just those key points, right, is that the company is offering a static amount of money. Your negotiating committee is looking to fill in the triangle. The triangle is growing every day, and through the end of the calendar year, it'd be about $172 million or $68,000 a man. Earl?
All right, from there, we'd like to take a few questions. Go ahead, Terry, and open it up.